Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. The new film is called The King, and the man who is responsible for it is the director and also the writer, David Michod. Congratulations, David. Obviously, you look at the DNA of cinema over the past 100 years, and it's been littered with various type of epic medieval battles. So what was your approach? Did you want to study what others got wrong or they got right, or kind of leave it alone?
Battles in particular?
Yeah.
No, I was aware of precedent, and I had an approach that I wanted to take. You know, I wanted there to. Very often, you find that they have defining features. One of them is that very quickly, medieval battles descend into chaos that's impossible to follow. You know, you're literally just looking at however many minutes of people just smashing each other and. You know, so I wanted the battle to have a point of view or points of view. I wanted you to be able to at least follow characters, as you know, to whatever extent was possible. The other thing was I wanted it to be, and this is connected to that in a way. I wanted it to be told from a human perspective. You know, I didn't want drone shots or giant crane shots of the battlefield. You know, I wanted everything to feel like it was observable from human eye level.
Well, you mentioned the human perspective, and obviously the main human that we're following is King Henry, and that is Timothée Chalamet. What did you see in him? And obviously there's a youth factor, but besides that, what did you see in him that you felt would lend him to this part?
First and foremost, talent. That when I saw him in Call Me By Your Name, he just knocked my socks off. And it was also partly something to do with a kind of like a, you know, I mean, it's on the surface in Call Me By Your Name, but a kind of European sensibility. But it's also there's a soulfulness that feels quite classic, old-fashioned in a way about him. You know, he doesn't. You know, it's extraordinary because when you spend 5 minutes with Timmy, you realize that he is such a modern kid. But you point a camera at him, and there's something timeless about him. You know, and I'm just feel very lucky that he entered my orbit at exactly the right time, because I knew I needed someone who could hold the screen to play Hal.
Watching this movie, I couldn't help but feel a correlation to politics today, that there are advisors in place of people across the globe who have the ear of the leader, pushing them in a direction that maybe not the best for the country, but the best for them.
Yeah. That's what the movie's about.
But you wrote it and you directed it. So what was the impetus when you and Joel first sat down, you know, thinking, hey, this would be a good story to kind of explore? It wasn't necessarily just about this man ascends to the kingdom, but about the general story as well.
Yeah, it's about filtering, you know, as you know, it's about us taking, you know, a character that, I mean, this thing started for us, you know, when Joel and I first started talking about it. Joel had in Sydney, famously played Hal on stage, you know, when he was fresh out of drama school, when he was about Timmy's age, you know. And I think that was an incredibly powerful experience for him. And so when we first started talking about this, we were, you know, we were looking at a character, through, you know, initially through the prism of Shakespeare, but then also through the prism of history, and also through the present day. You know, what were the clear parallels between you know, a story of this nature and the things that were around us today. And it's almost impossible not to. As soon as you enter into the telling of a story like this, you know, even if it's a gross act of historical revisionism, it's always about making sense of the time in which you live yourself, which is what Shakespeare was doing too, you know. And
just a really quick question. When you have to deal with that much armor and that much chainmail or whatever, and trying to get the sound right from your movie and the logistics, is it a costume or a wardrobe that's challenging to work with?
Oh, completely. Yeah. I mean, if you know, first and foremost, because it's, you know, we shot most of all the battle stuff in Hungary in the middle of summer, and it was, you know, those costumes are disgustingly hot. What it is more than anything else is like an incredible sound endeavor, you know, because most of that armor is always, you know, it's made of, you know, a bunch of it is real, but so much of it is just made of plastic, basically, and then it becomes an incredible sound building exercise, you know. The sound team on this movie did such an amazing job.
Well, as did you. Congratulations,
Thank you
David,
very much.
on a terrific film and a history lesson for me. I never knew anything about Henry V.
Well, you should go and read it, because it's like not all of it's true.
Well, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. Anyway, David, thank you so much, and this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.